Hi, welcome to Cooking with Anton. Today we're going to make green soup. I'm not going to put any color or something in there. The color is going to come from the soup itself. I call it green soup. It's one of the few soups that I can get my kids to eat. They love it. And oddly enough, it's got all of the things they usually think are toxic. The broccoli, the spinach, zucchini, anything that's green. But we start out the same way each time. We take an onion and some garlic, and we're going to chop that up. We're going to use about 1/3 of an onion or 1/4 of an onion. Anything from the onion family. If you cut in the direction of the grain, and then you cut across it, you've instantly cut teeny tiny little pieces. It's much easier than mincing like crazy. We'll put about 2 tablespoons of butter in a pot. Just a little bit of olive oil so that that butter doesn't burn. 2 or 3, maybe 4. I love garlic. When you break garlic apart and cook it, you don't get garlic breath. Just like with the onion, now we're going to cut across the grain. And that garlic is minced. Let's throw this in that pot with the butter. Give that a stir. We want these to get golden but not brown. Now for the green part, we're going to cut the broccoli into smaller pieces so it cooks more quickly. And we've got some celery. When you put celery in soup, cut the celery very thin against the grain. By cutting the celery fine, we won't get those little hairs. Very important for food to look good, but texture is also very important. Go ahead and include the leaves from the celery. They have a stronger celery taste than the stalks do. Now, sometimes I add zucchini to this as well. Today, I think I'll add a little bit of leek. This leek has been washed, of course, and split open. Now we're going to make a little roux in the soup, a little flour and water, and that will thicken it slightly, and then we'll put our vegetables in. Oh, those are beautiful golden brown. Look at that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of flour. Stir that to absorb some of the butter fat. And now we're going to add some water. Now this is a standard you can make to thicken anything, gravies, soups. Now we're going to add the rest of the water. Now we'll add our vegetables. We'll let that cook for about 15 or 20 minutes till the vegetables get soft, and then we're going to season it, put it through the blender. This is an incredibly fast soup to make. It's healthy, it's delicious, and it takes no time at all. Oh, it smells so good in here. Those vegetables look nice and soft. So we're ready to take this over to the blender. We're going to ladle some of the soup with all the chunky parts into here. Don't go more than about halfway, because when we turn this on, you'll see this will want to explode. You're introducing air that's going to expand in those blades. You want to be sure you've got a good secure lid. You want to be sure you've got a towel that covers that just in case. And your blender should be a blender that goes from low to high. Put it on the lowest speed. Start, put pressure on top. We're going to add some parsley. Parsley is going to be a good part of the flavor, and it's going to be a big part of the color. Lid on. Towel on, start on low. Put pressure. Look at that. Now you can see the color's already changing. Wonderful green soup. Pour this into our big pot. We're going to add some lemon, some salt and pepper, and a few seasonings. Now I want to show you something interesting. Look at this. Look at the difference between the store-bought lemon and this fresh from the tree in California lemon that someone brought us. This one smells a little bit like a lemon. This one smells like lemon. We're going to use this one in our soup. Now we're not making lemon soup. Look how juicy that is. We're just picking up the soup a little bit with this. So that half made about a tablespoon of lemon juice. And it's a fair amount of soup here, so probably about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And grind in some fresh pepper. Got some fresh basil right here. I'm going to pull the leaves, no stems. Tell you, I love cooking. Can you tell? Just the smell of everything gets me excited. And if you can use fresh, use the fresh. It will make such a difference. When you chop up things like basil, you want to just tear it apart, but I don't want the basil to be the main texture we're encountering here, so I'm actually going to use the knife. Now, give that a taste. I'm going to add just a little more salt. I think we can actually use a little more lemon juice. Squishing that through my fingers to catch the seeds. You don't want the bitter seeds. And now, my palate tells me I want to punch it up just a little more. I'm going to grind up some dried oregano. And remember how I told you we cooked the pungent part of the garlic out when we sauteed it. Now I want to deliberately add just a little bit of that garlic zip to it. So I'm not even going to use a whole clove. Press it down, cut across the grain, and here we want this nice and fine. Distribute it throughout the soup. Give that a taste and see how we're doing. Now there's a little secret of mine I love to use in my soups. I have to say I learned this from my mother. Thanks, Mom. But fresh nutmeg and our handy dandy nutmeg grater. It just is the perfect little top of the soup. Now we're going to put this back on the stove and warm it up, not boil, just get it hot enough to serve. Serve the soup hot. This, by the way, is delicious cold. You could put this in the fridge, let it get completely cold, and serve it that way. Absolutely delicious. There you have it. We have our green soup. All natural, no food color. This is Cooking with Anton. Remember, be good to those you love and be good to yourself.